Welcome to the Equinety Podcast, where horse owners just like you share their incredible Equinety stories and how Equinety is changing their horses' lives. Whether you're searching for something to give your performance horse better focus, faster recovery, and more stamina, or in the extreme case where all hope seems lost, give your horse what it needs to help heal at a cellular level, you'll find it here. So jump in on today's episode to hear how Equinety is helping horses worldwide. Now, welcome your host, John Dowdy.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Equinety Podcast. This is your host, John Dowdy, and I'm really excited to have Lori on this podcast because she's got an amazing story with a rescue horse that dates all the way back to 2008 timeframe, dealing with navicular, among some other issues going on, and been quite a struggle and a battle. So without further ado, let's jump right in this. Lori, are you there?
I am. Thanks for having me on today.
Well, you bet. I'm excited for everybody to hear the story about Joy. So we were talking, so you rescued this horse back in 2008, and it had a few issues going on.
Yes, I got her for free in 2008 just because of her ongoing lameness, and the person who had her did not look into further x-rays or to see what was going on with her lameness. So I did get her for free. And we discovered with x-rays that she did have navicular disease. Okay.
So then as you jumped ahead to around 2013 timeframe, you were kind of trying some different products recommended by the vet, and that wasn't working out so well.
I was guessing on what her condition was and just trying supplements on my own. And I said, hey, we need to get an x-ray to find out what is actually going on here. So I did try a couple products. These products worked for a while, but then he was coming up lame again. Mm-hmm. This was going on for a couple of years.
Right, and very frustrating, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So was it at that time you had some other x-rays done and found out that the navicular had spread a little bit, or there were some changes, I guess, to the navicular that was making it worse?
Yes. The vet did some, I just said, let's follow up and see what was going on because she was still sore. And they did find some more navicular changes in her left front and also starting on her right front foot.
So, and then also one of the other challenges living in Maine with the very hard ground in the winter times, she was always kind of lame during the winter. I mean, you couldn't ride her or anything like that.
Right. I could only ride up until, I'm not sure, maybe right before the snow started, and even with that, in the fall, before winter without the snow, the ground gets very hard, and I didn't want to, have her ride with me on her back on the ground, so it wasn't fair to her. So I stopped riding, and when the snow came, I lunged her and worked with her and did handwork. But definitely, being in Maine, the ground, the hard ground, the uneven snow, the hard snow is definitely a challenge.
Yes, and then you found the power of MagnaWave.
I did. I was doing research, and she was very lame last year, and I said, I want to help her as much as I can, and I have never given up on her. She was a rescue, and she's just a lovely mare. So I was looking online and came up with MagnaWave, and I said, did some research and found out, hey, let's give it a try and see what happens. So we started that in April.
And that helped out quite a bit then.
It did. It took a little bit, but I started to see her moving around a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And I did notice a change, a little bit here and there in the beginning, but more after the second or the third treatment, more movement, a little bit more soundness, just a little bit better than she had been. So that was very exciting.
Right. And then how did you find out about or learn about Equinety?
My MagnaWave lady actually suggested it and said she had some clients that had some horses with navicular, and she said it's a pretty good supplement and it might benefit Joy. So the next time she came out, I purchased it and was seeing even more excellent changes in her, more willingness, more movement, more fluid movement, lameness getting less and less, and yeah, very, very, very good changes.
Yeah, so you started the MagnaWave in April, and then you started the Equinety in the May timeframe. So
Yes.
how long with the combination of the two, what kind of progress was being made within the next month or 2 months?
Her top line was filling out more. Her top line was, she didn't have quite a lot of muscle, so that was helping her muscle build more muscle. Help with soreness, inflammation, just overall healthy, building more muscle, getting more healthier. And her coat was beautiful. Her feet, her feet started to get better a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just everything just started to come together. More riding, more working with her more often, lunging, more willing, all that, more just more calmness to herself. The wind used to bother her last year. She'd be running around. This year she was out. Actually, one day it was very windy, and she was laying down with her nose in the dirt.
Yeah. So
not yet. Right.
That's awesome. So just overall, more balanced from the inside out, calmer, more willing to work.
More balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more balance. Like right now, we are in Maine now, and we don't have as much of snow as we did, but it's very hard, very uneven, icy in spots. And last year, she would just be hobbling around. This year, it doesn't bother her. She rolls and she gets up and walks away, and just happy and mellow and lovable, and it's just an awesome product.
Wow, that is great to hear. And one of the other things that you mentioned to me before was how she would always just act up periodically. She would act up and because it could be of the pain and things.
Right. With the horse, when they act up, you don't know if it's behavioral or pain, but you know your own horse, and I know, being in pain. If you're in pain, you're not going to want to move.
Right.
So the acting up was, backing up, just not wanting to work. And now I get on her, and she does everything I want her to do. Willing. Like the other day, I went out to lunge her, and she followed me over to my lunge line and put her head down and let me put the lunge clip on her. Just very willing and able and not fighting anything and balanced. And I could just go on.
Yeah, you're like, is this my horse? That
I know. So it's just, I've come so far, and people have said to me, that she's come so far, and it's amazing to see all these, good changes in my horse that I struggled with years ago.
Sure. So if you had a piece of advice for anybody that's listening to the podcast, what if they're on the fence about trying Equinety, what would you have to tell them?
I would tell them to give it a try, definitely. It's just, I tried it, and she's been on it since May, and it's going to be part of her everyday routine of supplements for as long as I have her.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of her routine now, and she will be on Equinety now, forever.
Right.
So
that's right.
It's definitely worth trying, and it's a reasonable product as well.
Yeah, I think so. I'll agree with you on that one.
Yeah, it is.
Everything's got to be a bit relative, because there's some extreme cases and there's cases that aren't so extreme, etc. And
right.
if we go back to, go back to 2008 and then all the way up until April and May of this year, we're talking 10 years of frustration and trying different things. And so, but if we look at the combination of, using the MagnaWave as well as Equinety from the April-May timeframe up until now, which is, we're in the 1st of December. So we're a good 7 months in, 7-8 months in.
Right.
And, I tell people all the time that Equinety is not a miracle supplement, but it sure does some miraculous things. But, one of the things, and I'll post this in the podcast section underneath the audio section of this, because there'll be a transcript of this
Okay.
podcast. But you and I have been staying in touch all this time, and you've been sending me updated videos and different things, and so I'll kind of post that in there as well to give people an idea of timestamps of here's videos of kind of this month and what's going on, and people can kind of see the progression. And a lot of times people, they'll try the Equinety and thinking that this is going to solve their horse's problem next week, and there are some pretty shocking videos and stories where that does happen, but a lot of times, it depends on what's going on in the horse, so it can take time, and just like in this scenario, so that's
yes, yep,
yeah.
And I did see changes, but it took a little bit, and like we said, it's been 6-7 months now, and it's just continuing to just help her feel. Amazing is the word. Amazing. She's just, and I tell people all the time, oh, I'm so happy, because with Navicular, sometimes, you can't ride them anymore, and you can't do anything with them anymore because they're too sore. And I haven't gotten to that point yet, and I'm going to keep helping her and giving her this and helping her as much as I can. And another thing with Joy that has never happened before, I wanted to share was, with Navicular, Joy has therapeutic shoes and pads, and without shoes on, she's lame. She has to have the support. Now with her farrier visit, she can have no shoes on both feet and stand squarely and not be in pain. But when the farrier does her feet, she usually has to have a shoe on one foot and a shoe off the other foot.
Right.
Not be in pain when she puts her foot up.
Mm-hmm.
But now she is standing with no shoes on either feet squarely and walking actually around a little bit with no shoes and not in pain or lame.
Oh, wow. Your farrier must be surprised.
Oh, she's very happy. She said this is the best she's ever seen Joy go and do. So that's a big thrill as well.
Yeah. Now, has the farrier mentioned anything about the hoof growth?
Definitely more hoof growth, better overall hoof, condition, no breaking, no cracking, just very good hoofs now.
Great. Yeah, we hear that a lot, and I've been cursed by a few husbands who have told me to stop selling the Equinety to their wives because their farrier bill has gone up.
Growing, yeah.
Yeah, they're growing a little bit faster on the hooves, which is great. I mean, a healthy hoof is a healthy horse, right? Yeah, that is fantastic. Well, Lori, thank you so much for sharing your Equinety story, and I hope all those that are...
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. Well, I hope all those that are listening to the podcast that might be on the fence will go ahead and give it a try and see for yourself, and who knows, maybe we can have them share their Equinety story, and maybe it could be based just from listening to this podcast. That would be really awesome.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, Lori, thanks again, and we appreciate your time and sharing your story.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
That's all for this episode of the Equinety Podcast. For more information on purchasing Equinety, be sure to visit our website at teamequinety.com, where you'll also find product information as well as more testimonials on how others have seen amazing results by implementing Equinety into their horse's supplement regime. We'll have more stories on how Equinety is helping horses worldwide right here on a future episode of the Equinety Podcast.